Sam Montembeault, can he be the answer to help the struggling Oilers' playoff aspirations? And Patrick Kane, we're hearing a decision is supposed to be made in the next week or so we go over which team we think is best suited for the former three-time Stanley Cup winner. Welcome to another episode of the J&J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny, along with my co-host, the always wonderful Mr. Joe Monte Calvo. How you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm not liking your new setup there with
You
those
don't
two
wait.
shirts of Caulfield and Price. No,
I had more jerseys to
I
put
don't
up, but
approve.
I was even going to put up all the Stanley Cups, all the 24, but I didn't have room.
Yeah, how many of those did you see?
Sorry?
How many of those did you see? Oh, that's right, none.
That's neither here nor there. All right.
Right.
So on today's episode, we want to touch on these two topics. I mean, Sam Montembeault and Patrick Kane. I guess we'll start off with Patrick Kane first. We're hearing that, like I said at the beginning, a decision is supposed to be made in the coming week or so. Is that true or not? Obviously, we don't know. So we thought we'd go over the teams that we think will be best suited for him. I don't know if you want to start. You could, go ahead, Joe. You'll start first. Who do you think, or where do you think he would go?
Well, this is going to be an interesting decision because also, what kind of Patrick Kane are you getting? He just turned 35. He's coming off hip surgery. He hasn't played since last season now. If it's going to be a new team, because he's only played with the Blackhawks and Rangers up to now. I mean, a team that I think could be interesting is the Colorado Avalanche. Now, have not been linked to him at all. I haven't heard any reports that he is linked to them. But they have a bit of cap room right now. And if you look at their forwards, they're a little thin after you get by, like Rantanen, McKinnon, and then Kushkin up front. So I think he'd be a big boost to them. But then again, with Patrick Kane, you're going to be getting.
I mean, Drouin didn't really work out so far with Colorado. We thought, playing with McKinnon, it'll be a good, since they played together in juniors, right? I mean, going back to what you said, what kind of Patrick Kane are we getting? I mean, players like this, players that are all-stars, I still think he'll produce. Maybe it'll be a bit slow, obviously, to start off. But I still think he's going to put up his points. And a question I did want to ask before we continued on our list, how much do you think Patrick Kane will get, salary-wise? Because obviously that plays a part in. Like, I was thinking, look, he's obviously, I don't think he's going to get 10 mil, but 6 to 8. I even think 8's a bit high.
No, I don't know about that. Well, that's the thing is they're saying that he's most hit from his camp. He's looking for a multi-year deal, while teams, they're probably more looking to just sign him for this year and then take it from there and see how it goes. Of course, you can see from his side, he's just coming off an injury. He wants security. He probably does want a multi-year contract. I think if he wants to go to a contender, I don't know how many contenders out there that have a chance to legitimately win a Stanley Cup are going to be giving him, like $6-7 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, the salary cap plays a big part, right? So, look, as for me, I mean, Buffalo has always been in the trade rumors. Excuse me. Buffalo's at the bottom of the division. If they were doing better, would he go? I mean, for a homecoming, he's from there. He's from the area, right?
Exactly. If he would go there, I think that would play a major role. Is that he's from Buffalo. But again, if he wants to win a cup, Buffalo's not the place right now.
No, even if they were doing well, I still don't think they're not winning this year, right? So that's wishful thinking. I also saw Vegas. I mean, if he goes there, God damn it! I kill myself. It's not fair. You know what I mean? He
met with Toronto.
Yeah. Jack Eichel, I mean, Vegas, I mean, that's where all the players go. Like, even Jack Eichel, right, went there from Buffalo. I don't know. He did win a Stanley Cup. He did, right? But I don't know. To me, it's kind of like there's like an asterisk next to it. It's always better when a team, when you get drafted by a team and you go way up, you work hard, and you win that cup. It's more, fulfilling, I guess you can say. So I hope he doesn't go to Vegas. For me, next on my list, I got New Jersey. Now, I think New Jersey will be a good fit. Dawson Mercer hasn't been playing good this year. He got off to a slow start. Also, they have Andre Palat, who's playing up and down the lineup, third line, sometimes second line, second power play unit as well. I think, playing with Jack Hughes, another American-born player, they would, suit each other very nicely. But once again, salary cap, right? So I don't really see it, see it in the cards. If they do, they would have to get rid of, I think Andre Palat would be the odd man out, getting paid $6 million. Him or Eric Haula also getting paid 3.15. So, but once again, I don't really see that happening. Do you have anyone else, Joe, on your list?
Another team I saw was Florida.
Florida,
to Florida. They've shown some interest in him. I think he'd be a good fit also on the Florida Panthers.
I would love to see him in Florida.
And Kachuk, I think he'd do good on Florida. They're also a pretty fast-paced team, offensive-minded. Yeah.
I'll just piggyback off you. I also have Florida on my list. I think I would hope you would go there. Once again, I don't see it in the cards due to salary cap. Playing with Kachuk, like you said, his fellow American. But I mean, Reinhardt is a UFA next year, but he's been incredible. So I don't really see him being moved. But I do see Sam Bennett. I mean, getting paid $4.4 million. He's kind of high, for third, fourth liner probably. So if they do want to get him, they'll probably have to trade him away. But once again, this is all wishful thinking, right? It's easier said than done moving cap space, right? So last on my list, and where I think he most likely will land, is the Rangers. Back with the Rangers, right?
Back with the Rangers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit thin on the wing, on the right wing, especially with Blake Wheeler, being also 36, an older guy. Lafreniere has improved this year, but still, I think anyone would rather have Patrick Kane on their team, right? And if you just look at that power play, it's Benajad Panarin, Adam Fox, Patrick Kane, Chris Kreider. I mean, that would just be unstoppable to say the least. And as for salary cap, they do got about 9.4, 9.5 mil in space. So it just kind of makes sense, right?
He was there last year. He kind of underperformed, I found.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe it took him some time to get used to it. Maybe who knows how much the hip was also playing a factor when he was there at the end, because he did end up getting surgery on it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, he came in, halfway through the season with the Rangers, but I think he's also going to be coming halfway through the season again, right? If he does whoever he signs with. But I still think he'll perform no matter who he goes with. But if I would have to choose, I would hope for Florida. But I mean, I see probably the Rangers being the team. Do you as well, or?
At this point, probably the Rangers are most likely, because he still hasn't signed. He played with them last year, and they have the cap room for him.
I know you're hoping Edmonton will get him, right? But I mean,
I don't think the Oilers don't want him. No.
I don't know if he'd fit.
First of all, they don't have the cap room.
Yeah.
Even if they sign him for a couple of $1 million.
Exactly. But that won't happen. Okay, so next on to our next topic, which is Sam Montembeault. We're a little bit late, Joe, to this, but we did want to talk about it. So, I mean, Sam Montembeault, a little bit of trade rumors going to Edmonton. I'll let you start off because obviously you're the Oilers fan. What do you think? Obviously, not the answer.
If we're going down the route now of Montembeault, of Jake Allen, I know Cervalli this week on his Daily Faceoff website, he also posted they might have interest in James Reimer, Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's the answer now for the Oilers. These are the goalies they're going after. Yeah. If that's the case, I mean, just stick with Skinner and Jack Campbell, no matter how disastrous they are.
So
if they want to get in Montembeault, he's only signed for $1 million the rest of this year, which is good.
Yeah, he's a UFA. Yeah.
So Montreal is going to be asking for at least a first round pick and a top prospect to get him. They know the Oilers are in a disadvantageous position right now. So they're going to go after. They're going to try and get the top dollar for him. Then the Oilers, do you sign him? They're going to have to re-sign him in the offseason. Which means then who's going to go? They're going to be buying out Jack Campbell, because I don't see anyone taking on Campbell's contract.
Absolutely not. I mean, if they do trade for him, like you said, I think it's because they have a contract in place. As a Habs fan, I'll speak to my perspective. Montembeault has grown on me. I mean, when he started off, he wasn't good at all, but he looks calm and composed in net. I feel like the team has confidence when he's on the ice, when he's playing. Now, is he the answer for Edmonton? No. I mean, you mentioned James Reimer before, because look, I mean, let's be honest, the Oilers are desperate, right? I mean, they're desperate, and they know the clock's ticking. We say the clock's ticking because of McDavid and Draisaitl, but I mean, they're not that old, but it seems like they've been there forever because they started so young, right?
The core has been there a while now. Yeah, they brought in Hyman, they brought in Kane the last couple of years. But the overall core with Nurse, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Kane, they've been around now for a decade. So they have to win it. They have to win it now.
Exactly. That's why I mean they're probably looking at James Reimer, because there's this somebody just this 1 year do good.
Yeah, but James Reimer's not going to solve anything. Unless you got prime Carey Price, prime Henrik Lundqvist coming through that door, I don't really think many goalies are going to be able to help them.
Exactly.
The top goalies are not available.
They're not. There's no one.
Talk of like UC Saros. The Nashville's not going to trade him. And if you are going to go after UC Saros, that's more of a trade you do in the offseason, not a trade you do mid-season when you don't even have cap room.
Exactly. I mean, look, just to go off of what you said, I did a little bit of research and I looked up some UFAs for goalies coming up next year. So, look, I'll just rattle off some names. We'll talk about them for a little bit. I'll start off with Carter Hart and Jeremy Swayman. I mean, both young guys, both 25 years old. I mean, no chance, right? No, they're not going to get him. I mean, there was rumors we mentioned before for both of them.
Rumors as recently as now that the others are also willing to try and get Carter Hart. He's a local guy. Look, but the Flyers again. This is probably more of a trade for the offseason than not right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see Philly trading away Carter Hart. Yes, they're in a rebuild, but I think he's still young enough that they could be patient, right? And he can be patient and wait for him to get better. If he was like maybe closer to his 30s, I'd see maybe more of a possibility. But right now, no. Jeremy Swayman, I mean, they have Ullmark as well, Boston, but I think right now their defense is a little bit thin, and I mean they're winning, right? So I don't really see them.
I don't. Why would Boston get rid of both their biggest starting goalies? Exactly. They're 1A, 1B tandem.
Exactly, and when the playoffs come, they're going to need them both, right? Next, okay, look, Matt Murray, 30 years old. No, right? I don't exactly. Yeah,
no, next.
Your face says it. Peter Mrazek, also 32 years old. I mean, like, no, right? You know what I mean?
No.
Ilya Samsonov. I mean, he's a bit younger.
He's not even good enough to be in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. So
why would he make an Edmonton?
Phoenix Copley from LA.
Again, no,
he's not bad.
You're just naming backups and fringe.
I'm naming fringe starters, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Antti Ranta, Casey. I mean, Scott
Wedgwood
has
been pretty good, and he's been pretty good in Carolina.
Yeah, Scott Wedgwood.
Carolina's also a much better team, especially defensive, than the Oilers are.
Exactly. They make him look good, right? Scott Wedgwood for Dallas. He has been good this year, but I don't really see Dallas getting rid of him at all because he's been playing so well. I mean, Casey DeSmith as well. But I mean, the last one I have on my list that I was going to ask you about is Marc-Andre Fleury. Would you take him for a year next year? If he's still playing,
so you're talking about in the offseason now.
Yeah, in the offseason. I'm talking about next year. Let's say they sign him for a 1-year contract. He's going to be 40 years old, right?
They have Skinner and Campbell. So unless Campbell's being bought out,
yeah.
You know, and at this point, Fleury, you said he's going to be 40.
Yeah, he's 39. I'm not sure exactly when his birthday is.
You want to rely on a 40-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury in the playoffs? He's still better. He's Colorado or
he's definitely better than Campbell, and Skinner is going to be the guy in the future. Like I could see that happening.
Yes, it's a second year. Yeah, it's a second.
But that's why I mean,
a lot. The defense hangs him out to dry constantly.
Exactly.
Even the shutout win against Washington, there were a couple of grade A chances that he made great saves on, or the Capitals could have had a few goals in that game.
Exactly. I mean, when I saw that they beat Washington, I didn't really think much of it, but because and Washington started off so bad, so but then I realized I'm like they're second in their division, right?
Yeah, they came in on a 5-game winning streak. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at that win. As we record this, Edmonton's in action tonight against Habs, so we'll see how they do tonight as well. But I mean, yeah, back to Fleury. Maybe 1 year, maybe he could teach Skinner a thing or two, but I can't be any worse than what it is now. I mean, that's the only thing I see, unless they trade for someone, like you said, like a Saros or...
Yeah, it's going to have to be an offseason. To acquire a real goalie, I think it's going to have to be an offseason trade, not a trade you can make now in season.
Which brings me to my last question I have for you. As an Oilers fan, not as an analyst, but as a fan, would you trade one of your key pieces, one of your core pieces, such as a Hopkins, an Evander Kane, or a Zach Hyman for someone like a Carter Hart? Maybe I'm not sure about Swayman, but okay, like a UC Saros, Carter Hart, Swayman, so a young goalie, young proven goalie. Would you give up one of those pieces?
Well, Hyman's untouchable to me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade Hyman. No, I wouldn't touch Hyman. Between Kane and Nugent Hopkins, I guess I'd probably lean Evander Kane. But again, for what you're talking about, like a Carter Hart.
Yeah, I'm talking about Carter Hart or UC Saros, like you mentioned before at the beginning of what we spoke about before, right? I mean, Kane and Hyman are kind of the same player. I mean, maybe Kane is a little bit more of a power forward, and
it brings more of a physicality than Hyman. But
exactly,
these trades are to get, because you're also taking away a big piece on your offense. Like I know the offense goes through McDavid and Draisaitl runs through them, but Kane, Nugent Hopkins and even Hyman are great supporting casts. I mean, they're each going to put up 60, 70 points by themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong there. But I mean, if I was
ideally, if you're going for a goalie, you're getting rid of a prospect or a couple of good prospects, some draft picks. But again, the Oilers don't really have the cap room, so they're also in a position where they got to move money out to bring money in.
Not just that. I mean, like goalies. I mean, like starting goalies don't just fall from the sky, right? I mean, you draft them, which I'm not really quite sure. I mean, other than Skinner, right? I mean, I don't really see anyone coming up through the organization of the Edmonton Oilers.
Most good goalies are on good teams, and good teams are not going to treat you the goalies if
you're not going to get them in the UFA. You're not, in the offseason as a UFA. It's very rare. I mean, obviously, it has happened throughout the NHL history, but I feel like it's less and less throughout the years. So you're going to have to trade, which is, you got to get trade. You got to trade something to get something, right?
There's one goalie I would love. That's John Gibson from the Ducks. But
that's actually not
the Ducks would, especially in season, they wouldn't trade him to Edmonton.
He's not having division. Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not having a good year this year, but he has been solid for the organization, the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, throughout his career.
Yeah,
that's actually not a bad idea. But like, definitely give a first for him. That's for sure. But I don't know if Anaheim's going to get rid of him as well. We'll get rid of trade him away. I'm not sure how old he is. He's probably in his late 20s. Mid-20s, late 20s.
He's been in the league about feels like a decade at least.
Yeah, so I don't really. I don't think he's over 30, but that would be a nice. This is all wishful thinking, right? We can't really.
Do you think Montembeault will make a difference in Edmonton?
Personally, look, I mean, I don't know if you saw that Carey Price save against the Anaheim Ducks when we played them a couple nights ago. Can he be the answer? I think he could help. I think he could.
Not really reassuring.
I think he could help. I think he's better than what you guys got now. But at the same time, we do have 3 goalies right now, and Martin St. Louis is playing all 3. He's not getting the bulk of the work, right? We're on the road right now, and they each got a game. So, can he give you those 50 solid games? We have yet to see that. But right now, as I see his game has evolved, I think he's better than what you guys got now. That's for sure. Even Allen, I find is the perfect backup for any team. I think he could give you a solid 20 games, maybe 30, but solid 20 for sure. But I don't really think Edmonton wants him anyways, to be honest.
He wouldn't be the answer.
No, that's it. Look, there's no answer. There's no one out there. So you got to trade. And it's going to be a question mark in Edmonton for a while now until someone in upper management addresses it, right?
Whatever trade it is, Holland is probably going to get ripped off in it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, probably.
The position they're in, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, they have no choice. They're
going to have to overpay for whatever. If they're going to upgrade the goaltending and the defense, they're going to have to overpay for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? These just at trade deadline when you see these guys go for first round picks and you're like, what? So I probably see the same thing happening because they are in desperation mode, the Edmonton Oilers, and they need a goalie. I don't know what they need more, a goalie or more defense, to be honest. But I think the goaltending has to be addressed. You think more defense?
Just the chances they give up are just incredible. The odd man rushes, guys open in the slot. It's ridiculous.
Maybe with better defense, they Skinner could hold his own in that, right? But
look, the Washington game, they did play a tighter defensive game, a much more rounded defensive game. They was the best game they played all season to start up to now. I mean,
and guess who scored? Exactly, and guess who scored all the goals? It was Evander, Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, other player, Evander Kane, everyone who you expect to score on that team. It was perfect. It was a perfect game for them, right? But look, we'll see what happens in the future. To answer our question at the beginning, right? No, I guess I don't really think Montembeault will be the answer for them, as I'm sure you don't as well.
I do not.
No.
Maybe they get him and they go on a run, and then we'll be on freezing cold takes.
Yeah,
that channel.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't mind that.
We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens with Patrick Kane as well. I mean, I'm eager to see where he goes and how he contributes to wherever he goes. Until then, everyone, have a good night. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments where you guys think Patrick Kane is going to go, and if Edmonton Oilers will trade for Montembeault. Till then, have yourself a good night.